I don't think anybody really understands the reality of what was happening in that situation. One of the biggest comments that I saw happening on both Instagram and YouTube was, why are you getting involved? So in that situation, explain to me what's really happening with the sea lion and why it's important that you guys come out and do what you do.
Our primary mission is to actually help any sick or injured marine mammals. And unfortunately that day at the Wedge, the behavior that animal was showing was really concerning. I love to see the comments that people were making saying that we should be leaving that animal alone because it's in its natural habitat and we need to learn how to share our coastline with wildlife. We are 100% in support of that. Unfortunately, with that animal that we named Camryn, she was displaying really abnormal behavior for a sea lion. We're currently in what's called a Domoic Acid bloom, which is a toxin that's out in our ocean, and that toxin can really have a range of effects in the patients that we see come through our hospital. And the behavior we were seeing with Camryn that day at the Wedge was at the very far end of the extreme that was showing us that Camryn had some permanent brain damage that was resulting in her acting really abnormally for a sea lion. The issue with Camryn wasn't just a public safety concern. Camryn, we were really worried that she was going to continue to have seizures. We know that from a lot of the research we have done that we'll talk a little bit about today. But we have been correct 100% of the time when we've diagnosed animals with what's called chronic Domoic Acid Toxicosis, which means they have that permanent brain damage that's not fixable. And if that scar tissue in their brain is created in the area of your hippocampus that controls a sea lion's, at least, natural fear and respect for people, that makes them act abnormal. And we, in very rare instances, see that kind of hyper-aggressive behavior in these chronically ill animals. So Camryn, the sea lion from the Wedge, that wasn't the end of her story. Like, unfortunately, she had brain damage as a result of some things that we've probably done to the ocean. But we took her back to our center, we performed a full necropsy, and it's not just the domoic acid we're going to study related to the samples we collected from her. DDT is a massive issue off of our coast, and it was dumped off our coast between the 40s and the 80s, and it's going to be lingering for hundreds of years. So the samples that we collected from her also help educate us in the impacts of domoic acid, or of the DDT. Sea lions off of our coast have the highest rate of cancer of any wildlife species in the world. Sea lions off of our coast have the highest rate of cancer of any wildlife species in the world. People should know that.
Yeah, I want to say too, another thing that's been great, I mean, as sad as obviously the euthanasias that we've been seeing, it's great for us to be able to continue their story, and we can take some solace into the fact that when we do have a deceased animal, we'll take them and we'll do a necropsy, an animal autopsy on them, and take some samples to try and figure out anything else, other underlying issues that were happening with them, which is great for us to be able to just to continue that story for them even after they're gone.